Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/JustNoMil. In today's episode, Mil tried to rename my son, claiming it's a nickname. A little petty revenge for a body-shaming JustNoMil. Mil offended my entire family for the last time. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Mil tried to rename my son, claiming it's a nickname. This is cross-posted. We have a 1.5-year-old son. And without getting into the complete history, I'll give you the highlights. Mil has hated me since day one. She's called me every name under the sun. We moved on without an apology. I got pregnant. She was over the moon and was being kind, so I buried the hatchet. The minute our son was born, the name we decided on didn't fit him, Julian Christopher being my husband's middle name. So my husband suggested Emil Alexander. It's pronounced Emil. I know this name is not everybody's cup of tea, but to us it's beautiful and fits him perfectly. It's not a ridiculous made-up name or anything. Mil hated the name almost as much as she hated me. She announced his birth on Facebook, before I could, and announced that his name was Miles. My husband talked to her about it because it was all the way inappropriate. She claimed it was a nickname, but changed her post to Emil Miles Alexander. We've had to remind her a few times that we find the nickname out of bounds. Well, it's not a nickname, it's an entirely different name. She said that the nickname I gave him was stupid, it's just M, and claimed that it's the exact same thing. Well, I've had enough. He's starting to talk and can say his name, so I feel like she's going to confuse him. My husband says he's done with it and she can call him whatever she wants. He's her grandson. I tried explaining why this is disrespectful not only to me but to Emil himself. How would you like to be called something that's not your name? And my husband blew me off. I tried explaining this is another power play and her overstepping the lines. She wants to maintain power. He said she only gets that if I give it to her. So I said okay Thomas, not his nom, and walked away. I know that's petty, but he's starting to get irritated that I keep calling him Thomas. So I'm hoping that'll drive my point home. Am I being ridiculous? Am I just biased against her of our past, or is this completely unreasonable like I feel? Is there a better way to get him to understand? I'm truly just so tired of Mil doing whatever she wants with zero refused for me as my husband's wife and Emil's mother. She flat out will not listen to me, fully dismisses me, saying things like things are okay with us now, don't rock the boat, plus this is my husband's mother, he should handle this so she knows he's on my side. It's better to be a team. His name is Thomas now. You can't back down. I'd go with she can call him Emil or the grandson I never see. Very disrespectful. And I love the calling DH and MIL by other names/nicknames. Names matter and mean so much. My family specifically asked, for each of my 3 kids, if there was a nickname or shortened version of their name that we used, and if so could they use it. Early on my kids have all decided on how they prefer to be addressed, and I back them up. Kids don't stay unopinionated for long, and they typically don't enjoy the company of those who treat them like their opinion doesn't matter, especially something as important to their own identity, like their name. My baby daddy hates the name I gave our daughter and calls her by her middle name. The name I let him add in. But to a degree where if he buys her plane ticket he tried using his last name when we're not and never married, so I gave her my last name. Similar issue. I honestly ignore it for the most part. I made a post and people get nicknamed regularly, so if she's not around all the time she won't confuse baby and eventually they'll maybe even correct her themselves. Or just grow up knowing that grandma calls them something different than everyone else. Your third sentence says that your Mil hated you since day one. You moved on without an apology due to your pregnancy. I'm regretting that decision on your behalf in light of this behavior from her. I'd say something like your insane decision to call our son by a completely different name is very telling in the name you chose. We, or just I depending on whether your husband ever gets on board, have decided to put miles between you and us. You are not welcome to see us in person or contact us. Consider us miles away. And stand by that. That's it, game over. I seriously hope your husband does smarten up, and maybe calling him Thomas for a long while will do the trick. As an aside, as your son grows up, he may decide he wants to be called a name of his own choosing. I hope everyone respects him enough to call him what he wants. You also have a just no so problem. I'd do the same thing to my husband if he did that. Maybe come up with a name that to outsiders may seem innocent to have your LO call grandma. Like Grandma Ethel/BS, boundary stomp. Tell LO if grandma calls him by her name he can correct her. Since his father decided to cleave to his mommy, you're going to have to deal with her. Sounds like you have a husband problem just as much as MIL. What a horrific thing to do. MIL is not your problem. Your so is. Rock the boat. Flip that sucker over. Remind her so that he did not marry his mommy. That he did not father a child with his mommy. She needs to go on a timeout. The next time you misname my son, you won't see him for a month. If you do it again, 3 months. Tell so that you need to go to therapy or maybe you need to get lawyers. SHE is not the mom, wife, life partner, or spouse in your relationship. If so won't stand up to her, he will never stand up for you, and this is the rest of your life, abuse from her. She gets no say. You are not the parent, you have no say. And, yes, it is bad to confuse a child by calling them the wrong name. I wouldn't do it to a dog. Do not allow it again. A little petty revenge for a body-shaming JNMIL. Hi all. I'm new here, and who boy is my MIL a nightmare. She is a wealthy white southern woman, and pretty much checks off every stereotype therein. Her son, my husband, didn't follow the family path of college nepotism oil executive. Instead, he dropped out and joined the military. We met when he was stationed near my hometown. It took a few years, and both of us getting divorced from our first terrible attempts at marriage before he and I finally got together. Literally everyone saw it coming, and I have to say we are very happy. He is raising my eldest as his own, her bio dad has chosen not to be particularly involved, and we have a new baby together. Needless to say, the way we met, the fact that I'm from a blue-collar Yankee, her words not mine, family, the fact that I had a child out of wedlock and am divorced, and the fact that I'm tattooed are all reasons why she absolutely does not like me. But she still tries to act like she does, in that horrible passive-aggressive kind of way. I have no doubt, though, that she thinks I'm a gold digger. She even wants me to give up custody of my eldest child so we can move down south, much to mine and my husband's absolute horror when she kept pushing that. Hell would sooner freeze over before he or I would ever do something like that. Anyways, on to my petty moment. She hates my husband's body hair, he is like a wolf man, and hates all of his tattoos. She also regularly tells him he is fat. He is a huge guy, very tall, incredibly strong, with super broad shoulders and a bit of a gut, which I absolutely hate because it makes him feel like sh*t about himself. Needless to say, he and I are both sick of her body shaming shit. So I bought him a tank top that says Hot Dad Summer on it for him to wear when we go visit this summer. She hates tank tops on men. That plus the fact that it shows off his tattoos and hairy arms and everything, he and I are both looking forward to giving her a little bit of the middle finger, lol. ETA, wow, thanks for all the feedback everyone. Glad to see my idea is such a hit. To those asking why even go? It's complicated. She lives somewhere my hubby has very close ties to. Also, our kids have cousins who will be there that miss each other quite a lot, so it's mostly for them and spending time with hubby's sibling. As someone who has dealt with wealthy white southern women, please let me give you a little advice that might help. Go snooty. She brings up giving up custody of your son again? Look down your nose at her and say, I suppose you would say that. And don't elaborate. She makes comments on your tattoos? Thank you, darling, they're all the rage. This implies that, by her not having tattoos, she's behind on a fashion trend. She makes comments on your husband's body? And I mention this because this type of woman rarely blurts out, you're fat, but makes snide, backhanded remarks. It's so nice you don't hold with that trashy belief that a body must be starving to be handsome. This is a double-edged insult. Not only are you saying that thinking your husband is fat is a garbage opinion, you are also indirectly implying it's a whorish opinion, which is something she will not be able to tolerate. She will backtrack. In short, put your nose in the air and serve back everything she's dishing out. It's the only way she'll learn to respect you. Get him some hoochie daddy shorts and short-circuit her brain. Here, here. I second the hoochie daddy shorts. Bless her heart, and I mean that in the most condescending southern way possible. Bless ha hot. And the ultimate way to get under a southern biatch's skin, well, aren't you sweet? Bless your heart, that would just about give her the vapors. I'm imagining she has chaise lounges all over her house for dramatic collapses when her nerves just can't take it anymore. Yes. This. And bless your heart. She hates my husband's body hair, he is like a wolf man, and hates all of his tattoos. She also regularly tells him he is fat. He is a huge guy, very tall, incredibly strong, with super broad shoulders and a bit of a gut. Air. Can he be cloned? Asking for a friend. Ahem. LOL, if I can perfect the tech, I will share. Just be warned, you need a good vacuum, because he sheds. I am seriously not kidding. I made the mistake of putting in white floors, and had to buy a Dyson to deal, because I swear he is worse than the dog. On the plus side though, he has never once complained about me not shaving because he believes it would be far too hypocritical of him. I'm a Yankee transplant to the South, and I firmly stand on Southern hospitality being a mile wide and an inch deep. Smile to your face and talk mad sh*t behind your back. MIL offended my entire family for the last time. TW, death/memorial. I need to give background. My sister and I do hair for free. For children who parents can't do hair/have time, etc. My nieces that live with MIL were first on my list because she would braid their hair back in little prison braids. And she kept on of their hair super short and unkempt. So we started doing their hair. For free. Again y'all, for free. I have back issues and carpal tunnel in both hands, and I still made sure the girl's hair is always done because to me, that's the best I can do right now. Okay. So another sister of mine passed away recently, like last week recently. MIL and a few other clients reached out to offer condolences but somehow managed to sneak in something about their children needing their hair done. Oh, so sad. She was so young. Sorry for your loss, nonsense, girl. No rush, but X need their hair done. Stuff like that. So I was, to me, rightfully offended. MIL called to ask if I would be mad if she didn't come to the service. I said no. She started crying about her dad. Which I understand, but damn, saying she couldn't handle it. That's fine. Thanks. She shows up. Sits right near the family, which is fine, the service was super casual. And as my sister's friend gets up to do her remarks, my MIL leans back and calls my name. I ignored her, because I was freaking crying about my sister. She called my name again. I have the hair stuff in the car. I have gel and hair and blah blah. My best friend shushes her while I just stared. Because HUH? My dad takes the mic and says something about respect and not speaking while someone has the mic because she learned to whisper in a helicopter apparently. She got up and told a story about my sister and a horse. In her story, she mentioned her dad and how hard this was for her, not because of my sister, but because it reminded her of her dad. My family was slashes pissed. They deal with her for the kids in her care and for me. They are extremely polite to her, but my mom was so offended, especially on my behalf. My parents said she is never allowed back in their home and business, because this was their last straw. I will be doing my niece's hair, but only because I told them I would, but it is the absolute last time. Because I've really been putting my own health at risk. It was so tacky and tactless. I've been going off about it for days now. I'll tell you all about how she wanted me to move my doctor's appointment to accommodate hers the next time. My dad takes the mic and says something about respect and not speaking while someone has the mic because she learned to whisper in a helicopter apparently. If you decide to name her for these stories, I think your dad has the perfect name, Helicopter Whisperer. Seriously, WTF does that? I'm so sorry for your loss. I remember when most MILs on this sub had a special name. Good times. May I suggest Helicopter Whisperer? I've been crying all morning at these replies. Thank y'all so much for validating my feelings. I've learned to bite my tongue when it comes to her because I don't want to lose access to the kids. My parents have been biting their tongue on my behalf because they also love the kids. But enough is definitely enough. I've made a public post about how dehumanizing it is for people to only see me as a service I provide for them and not a human who is grieving the loss of her sister. I've been in this family for 12 years. I've known these children for years and I'd hate to lose them. Oh honey, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you lost your sister and have to deal with this on top of it. I'm so sorry you have to deal with her at all. You sound like a beautiful human being for what you do for those kids, and I'm not just talking about doing their hair. You go to MIL's house, ignore her and do the girl's hair for the last time. You then get your ex-DH, I'm assuming this is the ex-Mil, to deal with it if he is capable. Or you text her then block her. Your actions and words at sister's funeral upset and angered my whole family. Including me. They have asked me to pass on the following message. This insult to our family and total disrespect to our grieving will never be forgiven. You are no longer welcome at our homes or businesses. We only put up with your existence as a favor to OP, but we can no longer tolerate you in our lives, not even for OP's sake. Any attempt to contact us will be followed by legal action. We repeat, you are not welcome. For myself, 100% agree. You insulted everyone in that room, what you did was unforgivable and heartless. I will no longer be visiting you or the kids. I can't stand to even look at you anymore. I will be blocking you from now on. I hope you can find peace. Because she learned to whisper in a helicopter apparently. This is gold. I'm so sorry for your loss. I can't blame your family one bit. Sending you all a giant e-hug. I'm so sorry for your loss. People grieve in their own way and deal with death in their own ways too. It really does sound like this woman is just plain selfish though. I lost my brother this last year in an accident and it's been so difficult. So many people have been making it about them and I get livid every time. My mom said that people come up to her and keep pressing her to talk to them about how sad and devastated she must be, people whom she has not seen or spoken to in years if not decades. She finally just said, I've cried enough and I don't want to cry right now. If all you came over for was to make me cry so you could console me, I'm leaving. I wish I was able to give you a big hug, instead know that I'm thinking about you guys and praying that you have some peace. Those babies will know how much you did for them. Are your nieces old enough that they can be taught to do each other's hair or come over without Mil? She does allow them to come over without her. I do not go to her house often, if at all. She does not allow them to even brush their own hair. So I do their hair in styles that can stay up for at least 4 to 6 weeks and I keep it up. Please make sure your ex-husband knows that she has burned the bridge with your family to the ground and with you because of her own behaviors. You all are done with her. So sorry for your family's loss, and that they had to tolerate this inexcusable behavior. Now set that important issue aside and focus on the unimportant issue of the hair. You teach people how to treat you. You will send the wrong message if you do this just one more time. It doesn't matter if you said that you would, your health is more important than that commitment. You need to send a message that your grief and your health is paramount. She disrespected both, more than once, apparently. You need to understand that people like this will always get over, because they know how to manipulate to get what they want. The nieces won't die if you don't do their hair, let someone else do it. It's more important that you model good self-care for your nieces. You can simply tell them that auntie is not well, and cannot do this. If they are old enough, then you can explain that auntie is hurting emotionally, and Mil needs to honor that. Give your grief and your health the care that is required. So very sorry on the loss of your sister. Losing one of your first best friends is the hardest. I would do the kids' hair, but preferably not at Mil's. I would also be very vocal about how rude and intrusive she was during the funeral, and let her know that from now on, the only relationship you will continue is with the girls. How did your so deal with this? If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.